we'll do a quick revision for chapter 1 and 2 via a lab. The lab is what is 2.7.1. 2.7.1. So this lab is just to check if you know how to apply configuration. So I'll try to do a bit. So I'll try to explain to you. So this is the lab. So anytime you have a lab, take 1 or 2 minutes to understand first. So here you can see I have headquarter side. Here I have data science, data services. And in headquarter, I have 3 routers. This router has a network, a LAN, and this one also have another LAN. And this router in headquarters is linked to data service network. And in data service network, we have one side facing the internet and the other side facing a multi-access network for routers. So it has 2 departments, headquarters, and you have data services. So now they're going to ask us to configure OSPF. As you know, a router is a device that knows route. Router has if I open it and I type show IP route, it's to view the list of networks. So a router knows a list of networks. Now, the thing is how a network is listed here. You can see here, so in front of a network, we have a, so let's say a letter. So if you see C, then this network is here because of C. C is what? When you go up, C, it means it's directly connected. So this network is listed in my routing table because it's directly connected. If you see L, is the IP address of that interface directly connected. We can also see another network here. How that network is here via O, I mean OSPF. So all these lists can be here via, you can assign manually static route. Yourself, a network engineer, you add the remote network manually, then you see S in front to say it's static, or it will be dynamically or automatically added via dynamic routing protocols. So how it works, first thing first, you start to activate the dynamic routing protocols on the routers. After that, it's done. Anything else, we're going to manage, to exchange. If, for example, this router that is connected to internet gets new route, is going to share with any other routes, any other routers automatically. So we don't need to manually add, and automatically they share, they communicate between themselves. So we have 2 ways for a routing table to nose route, manually via static route, dynamically via dynamic routing protocol. And we did see that dynamic routing protocols, we have for dynamic routing protocols, this is an example here. We have 2 groups, exterior gateway protocols that will be used by internet service providers for big networks, huge networks. And for companies, is interior gateway protocols. And the most used is OSPF. Now, how to activate OSPF? We did see that we can use either the network command with the router OSPF process ID, network, remote network, wildcard mask, or we can use the interface command. We go to the interface that is linked to another router, not a switch. We go to that interface and we type IP OSPF process ID area 0. This is an example of wildcard mask. It's the opposite of a tablet mask. Hmm. If it is okay, you can read here. It's straightforward. You can check that. Okay, we continue, and we did also see that router IDs. We need any router. When you use OSPF, we need the ID. Why? Because when we are interconnected like this, we need to elect the big boss, the manager, or the designated router, like router 3 here. We all have a router ID, and the highest is the DR. The second highest is a backup designated router, and any others that are not DR or BDR are called DR other. How a router can get a router ID? We have 3 ways. You can yourself, the IT manager or IT engineer, configured. You type router ID, or if it's not required, you go to and you have loopback interface, you use it, or if there is no, you cannot configure, there is no loopback interface on the router, the interface that has the highest IP address will be elected as the router ID. You can use that as the router ID. Passive interface is an interface that is facing the LAN, a switch, like here. This router, you see. So the interface facing the switch is a passive interface. It's not connected to another router to get information from that router or to exchange routing table with another router. So we call it passive interface. Loopback address is not a physical address. It's a logical address that never goes down. It's just for management purpose. So when we have these guys, yeah, for routers to communicate, even here, for router to communicate, these two routers, for example, we need, before we start exchanging information, we need to trust each other. We need to be neighbor or to form agencies. So we're going to exchange, who are you? This is me, and yeah, and can we talk? Can we agree on exchanging routing table? Yes, yes, then. So if I open this router, I want to view if it, who are my neighbors. I tap show IP OSPF neighbors. Then I could see that I have 3 neighbors. So I'm here. I have 3 neighbors. I have this guy, and this guy. So I have 3. Now I see full. It means I have full relationship. We can talk. We can exchange data. Now at a later stage, the second one will be, is it this neighbor, is it the DR? If it's the DR, it will show DR. If it's the backup DR, it will show. Else, it will show nothing. It means your DR other. It can be written DR other or nothing. So if I go to the other router here, and I type the same thing, enable show IP OSPF neighbor. So here, for example, I'm on that router, EC1. How many neighbors I have? 1 here, 1. So I have 3. So these are the 3 routers. Now, this neighbor, who is it? Yes, I do have full relationship, and this router is a backup router. So this is how you can see. You can also type show IP. So it's good to understand instead of jumping and start doing the configuration. You can type configure, but you don't understand. No. The day of a job interview, we ask a question you don't understand, you cannot configure. So it's good to understand. After you understand anything else, it's just to check if a student knows how to apply this command. Nothing else. How to apply this. But you need to understand first. Show IP OSPF question mark. I can see neighbors, I can see interface, I can see let's check interface. Show IP neighbor interface. I have on this interface, it up the process ID, me BC1, this is my router ID. So here, I think I made a mistake in the configurations. Let me check in the questions here. Yeah, you see, BC1, it should be 6C6. And in my configuration, I did wrong. So I need to go back and configure. So to configure router ID, conft router OSPF, and the process ID in the question is 10. Then I type router ID 6.6.6.6. I save, do, OP, run, start. And I do again, show interface. Now I can see that my router ID is correct. So now if I go to router, this router, and I tap my neighbors again, yeah, I can see, okay, it's fine. Now I can see that on this interface, I can see some information, the interface IP, the OSPF process, my router ID. I can also see the priority 255. It means if it has the highest priority, it means I'm the designated router. What is so you can modify OSPF, force OSPF to become DR or BDR. So if I go to OSPF priority, if I want to force a router to become router, the big boss, I can go to the interface facing the other router and tap IP OSPF priority the highest. The priority is between 0 and 255. So if I tap 255, it means this router will be the highest, has the highest priority, then it will become the DR. So in our case here, you can see priority 255. It means this router is the DR. You see here, I have these three guys. So this one will be the DR. Someone else, the highest router ID will be the BDR. So from here, what else I can see? I can see the Hello interface. The Hello interface, this router, we need to talk to each other. Yes, question? Yes.
Yeah, we can't see what you're doing. It's stuck, I think.
Let me see. So who else cannot see?
You're still projecting the document. Okay, now it's gone.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah. So thank you guys. So if you cannot hear me, you cannot see my screen, you talk to me first. And if you see that 10 seconds, I'm not replying to you, call me directly on WhatsApp, not message, because I don't check message when I'm teaching. But at least if the phone is ringing, I can see that there is something. Okay, thank you very much, guys. So I was saying that, so can you see now?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we say that when you have three routers like that, we are all interconnected, one should be the manager, the big boss, to bring data from the internet, and it will share to other routers in the network. So for these guys, for example, we are 3. One should be the big boss. So if I open, for example, this router and I tap show IP interface, show IP OSPF interface, it will show me details about all interface. I have this interface, up. I have other interface here, it's up. And what else? I have other interface, it's up. Now, if I take an interface, for example, what information I can check there? I have this IP address of that interface. I can see my OSPF process ID that is given to me in the question. I can see my router ID. You see, I can see my Hello interval. The default is 10. It means every 10 seconds, I need to greet my neighbors. And we must reply in 10 seconds. If I greet you and you don't reply to me, yes?
Is that automatic, Somex?
Yes,
the communication?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Automatic, yeah. Yeah, so it's automatic. So if I greet you, the default is 10 seconds. Yeah, because if you understand, anything else easy to configure. That's why I don't want to just jump into the config. So now when we start, you'll understand more. You see, the default greeting, every 10 seconds, we need to greet each other. So if I greet you in 10 seconds, I greet you, 10 seconds is over. You don't reply. 40 seconds, you don't reply, it means you're down. So I don't need to share my information to you anymore because you're not there. See? So these two are automatic and we can configure. If you don't configure, it stays like that. Like here, you see, we didn't configure them. We didn't configure, so it stays the default. But you can change. You can say, okay, instead of 10 seconds, it's too long, I can change to 5 seconds. You must greet every 5 seconds. This is an example of changing, of forcing. You go to that interface, facing the other router, IP OSPF healing table 5. Dead interval is always 4 times the dead interface, 4 times. So if you put 5, dead should be 5 times 4, 20. So these are some information that we'll be using now to do our lab. So when you have an interface in OSPF, what can you configure at that interface? You can configure the hello interface for greetings, the dead interval, the maximum interval you need to reply to me, else I'll declare you down. I can also configure the interface priority. If I put the highest, it will force me to become the big boss, the DR. I can also add an interface, activate OSPF. Remember to activate OSPF, you can use the network command or the interface command. We can also configure the cost to make a link faster than anyone else. Yeah, so all these basic information, we're going to use them. There is also something called the default routes. What if a router doesn't know how to help you? Where you want to go is not listed in my routing table. Then I need to configure a default route to say, you know what, I cannot help you, but go that way. Go to the administration building, they can help you, or go to the information desk, they can help you there. So I don't need to configure on every router. I go one by one IP route 0000000. No, I configure on only one router, then this one will propagate to all other routers. To all other routers. So for example, if I use this router and I tap show IP routes, I can see that I have a lot of OSPF, but default route is what? So let's check. Default route should be first a static route plus asterisk, candidate default. First thing first is a static route, and is also, it should be S with, let me start. It's not here. You cannot see such S and what. We're going to do a demo now. If I open this router, I tap enable, show IP route. Here also, there is no route. There is no route where it shows S and asterisk. So let us do a demo to see if we configure here and we propagate, we'll see if it go to everyone. So first thing first, what is written? Check 1 minute, then we continue. So this is an example. Check it 1 minute, then we do. Okay, we continue. So first thing first, we need to create that default route and to a next hop or exit interface. And we create it first. Let's create. The exit interface is facing the ISP. So let's see, where is the default route? 1 second, let me double check properly the exit interface. Let me check in the chapter 2 now. Let me check a good example. Okay. Let's read here together to make sure to find the correct interface. Edge router. Not interface, the one facing the LAN or facing the internet. It's what I want to check. The next hop IP address. When configuring static route, best practice with next hop. A connection to the internet. There is no hop, no next hop IP address. Therefore, use the exit interface.
Semex?
Yes, I see. Yes, question?
Oh, I'm not sure, but I think I read somewhere that when your next hop is, for instance, an ISP, whereby you don't know the IP address, that's why you do the loopback. Yes.
Yeah.
You do the loopback on that interface.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. So now we are here. Let's do show IP interface brief to see all my interfaces. The one facing the internet is which one? Or I can go to options, preference, always show port labels. The one facing the, it's not quite clear. Let me zoom in. Okay, G00 is here. S01 is here. I think the S11 is facing the internet. So it means if you come to me and I don't know where to help you, go to my, so now I see S11. So here, conft IP route. So it means if you come to me and I don't know how to help you, go to my ISP. I can use this one. Let's check if it works. That's why before you go live, you must test first on your PC. If everything works well, then you go live. If you're going to mess up the entire company network, you can get fired. invalid next hop, you see. Then I can maybe use the exit interface then. S0, 1, 1. Press enter. Default route. Okay, so this one at least is there. We can save, do copy, run, start, and show. No. We did configure. We can tap show IP route to check if the S is there. You see, we configured a default route. So a default route is first thing first, a static route, and asterisk means it's so first thing first is IP route, the static route with default. Now we need to propagate this one to any other routers. If I take the other router, EC2, for example, does this router has a default route? Show IP route. There is no S here. You see, so it means on that router facing the internet there, that's default route we configured. We're going to propagate to send it to anyone else. So conft. Now we need to propagate. What is the command for that? You see here. After we configure, now we go to router OSPF process ID. The process ID is given to us in the questions. So it's 10. Default information originate. So we go there, default information originates. What is that guy? What is default information originate? Then I come here, I go here, and I type router OSPF. Router OSPF. Then we tap what again? Yeah. Then I press enter. Okay, 1 second. I want to reply to someone. One second. I'm replying to someone quickly. I sent to this guy. Oh, yes. One second, guys. Sorry. Okay, in the meantime, you can read this one. I can read. Give me only 1 minute. One second. Okay. Now that we configured, we did configure the static route, the default static route. So if I start typing IP route, it means it's a static route. And if it's all zeros, it means it's default. We did configured. And it's showing in our routing table. Now I want to propagate to send that default route to all other routers. Then I tap this, I router OSPF, default information originate, I save. Now I'll go to other routers. Anyway, let's tap again, show IP route. Okay, the route is here, is valid. Let's check if others did receive. Tap again, show IP route. Not here yet. Let me go to other one. Normally we should, maybe if you're busy talking, we're busy communicating. Okay, not yet. I come here. Yeah, that's why we need to talk each other. Hey, we say, okay, hey, you know what? I have a new route. Do you have it? No. Okay, this is it. So we communicate. Okay, not yet. So let us wait for some time. So this is how, for example, we propagate. Yeah. Let them talk for a while. Maybe after 1 or 2 minutes, we can check. And from time to time, they can ask you to adjust the bandwidth. If the link is 1 gig, the cost will be 1,000. So you go to router OSPF, auto cost bandwidth. If the link is a 1 gig interface, you tap 1,000. If it's 10 gig, is 10,000. If it's fast Ethernet, the cost is 100. Yeah. Yeah, so you just need to tap this command, that's all. Yeah, and you have some comments to verify your OSPF. Let me check if this guy is still busy talking there. Not yet, we're still exchanging. You can wait a bit. Okay, so now that we did the full revision for chapter 1 and 2, let's jump to our so we understand first thing first, the topology. Good to understand first. I have two sites, the headquarter, the data services. In headquarter, I have this design and what. Okay, now we understand. And we have a addressing table with all the information that is here. And what we need to do, configure the network to meet the requirements. Use the process ID 10, you see, or to activate all routers. Now, 1, activate OSPF. So before we do that, let us do, for example, so automatically distribute default route to all route in the network. Okay, we did. Configure the OSPF route so that the gig interface cost will be 10 and the fast will be 100. So here we go to cost, for example, the cost. So let's go back to our stuff. We go back to cost. This is cost. Manually see the value SPF cost. Okay, let's read again first for the cost. So interface cost, that will be difficult. Too much, I mean. OSPF routers, so that gig interface cost will be 10, fast will be. Okay, so we have our two routers. We have for now, we have this one. So if I open it and I type show IP interface brief, So here I have only serial routers. Okay, let's see if you can do something. Conft interface range S0 1 0. The first one, if you put comma S0 1 1, S0 2 0. Let's check if it will work. 0, sorry. Now we say interface range S. So you see there is something wrong here. What does it mean? It's S. So we want to configure cost on all these guys. Normally we should go one by one, but I'm trying to see if we use the range, if it's going to work. If I say paste, let's say okay, dot 1, comma. We try, yeah? This is how we check, we learn. So interface range, serial. Okay, let's check interface range, question mark. You see, so in this, on this router, there is no, so packet tracer is not allowing us to use serial. So this one is not our fault, but normally in real life, we should see serial. So packet tracer is not allowing us, so we cannot, if I come here also, and I type conft interface range, question mark, there is no serial. If I say interface, let me close it. Let me try to do one by one then. Instead of range, I type interface. Interface. If I use one by one, what is the command first? Yeah, I go to the interface, IP OSPF cost. Okay. Interface. Okay, use some ticks. IP OSPF cost. But the thing is, we don't know the configure OSPF routers like gig Ethernet will be 30 fast Ethernet. Configure OSPF like gig Ethernet interface. Okay, so here we don't have serial interface, so we don't need, we say gig Ethernet. Okay, for this router gig Ethernet, there is no, it's not configured, so we don't need to bother here. So we go out, we exit, we say gig Ethernet. So we leave this guy. If you come here, do we have gig Ethernet? Yeah, we have gig Ethernet. But let us type, we exit, show IP interface brief. Here we have 1 gig Ethernet and other as serial. So we can configure only this one. So go to conft, check something. Conft, we go to that interface. That is gig. And we tap IP OSPF cost. We say gig interface is how much? configure OSPF gig interface, the cost is 10. Cost 10. We are done for this one. We save, do copy, run start. We go to other router, this one, show IP interface brief. I have 2 gig Ethernet, so I can type let's see, conft interface. This is for OSPF. So this one is facing the LAN, so it's not included. This one is facing another router. So we can use this one. IP OSPF cost is gig also 10. We go to other router, this one, show IP interface brief. I have 2 gig interface. One is facing the LAN, is not participating. This one facing the other router, so it will participate. Conft interface gig 001. Let's check if it's this one. Yeah, gig 001. IP OSPF 10. Cost 10 is the correct this one. No. It's IP OSPF cost 10. Yeah. And I save, do copy. So all of this question is just to make sure that you know how to configure. That's all. We go to other router. So on this router, we did see that there is no always gig interfaces are not activated. We are all linked to other routers serial. So we can close that. We come here. We type enable show IP interface brief. These 2 gig interfaces. Now which one is what? These 2 are facing the LAN. This router, these 2 interfaces are facing the LAN. So we don't need to configure. This one also is facing the LAN, so we don't need to configure. But anyway, you can check by yourself later. Configure OSPF cost value. On P1 interface, 11 should be synced, 50. P1. P2, yeah, P1 interface S11, interface S011, IP OSPF cost, we say 50. So we say we go to this router, we go to that interface, and we add the cost 50. It's what we did. And this is the question here. Configure OSPF value on P1. It's what we did. Then configure hello and dead interval on interfaces that connect P1 and DC1 to be twice the default value. So the default value, this is the default value here. 10 and 40, the default is 10 and 40. So this is the command we should do. So I check which interface is facing. That side is S02. Let's zoom in to make sure. Okay, yeah, S02. So we go there, we exit here, interface S020. And what is the command we put there? IP OSPF hello, IP OSPF hello. We say twice, no? Or maybe twice we default. The default is 10, so twice is 20. Now the dead interval should be 4 times. Always dead interval is 4 times, so here will be 80. And you save. So read again. Configure the hello and dead timer value on the interface that connects P and BC1 to be twice the value. And we did see that by default, it's 10. And the dead is 4 times here. So here twice, it will be 20. If it's 20 times 4, here will be 80. And this is the command. You go to that interface and you type. So we did on router 1, we need to do the same thing on the other router because we need to agree to talk together. Okay, so so here the interface facing the other guy is what? There's no zoom it properly. It's S01. So we go to that interface. Interface S010 IP OSPF hello interval 20 and twice we default IP OSPF dead interval 4 times 20 is 80 and you save. And normally that's all. So what we did today, we know now how to configure the hello and the dead interface values, how to configure the cost, and this one, the default route, I don't know why it didn't take yet. Let me check again. Show IP route. Show IP, why is it not taking? Show IP route. Yeah. Now we see even E2. What E2 means? E1 is OSPF external, E2 type 1, OSPF external 2. What's that? I have no clue. So you can go back to your network card and find out. Let's open this guy. And we can end. Show IP route. No. Well, show IP route BC3. Why it's not showing them? Let's take this guy and show IP route. You can see that the default route has been propagated to the other guy. Okay. The default route has been propagated to other guy. And let's check here. You see, also it's propagated to the other router. Let's use this guy and see if it's there. Show IP route. You can also see that it's here. Let's use this guy. Show IP route. But it was here before. How come it vanished? This one was OSPF E2. But it should show S. Let me check here. Okay, anyway, I will know the command for that. You see the default route is here. So it means it has been, because we are in OSPF environment, so it will show OSPF. Asterisk means it's a default route. And that E2, we need to go back to our NETA card to read again. Propagate route. Yeah, I think it's here. Let's read together. We have that E2 that is here. Verify propagated default route. Show IP route, yes. Okay. Okay. So we can read this one. It's now clear for us. You can read 1 minute. I'm checking something on it. You can still reading. I'll be with you shortly. Okay, so this is how we learn, by practicing and doing some research. It takes time. It's not in one day, no. But the more you practice, the more you discover something. Now, what's the difference between S and this? This one is when it's a normal default route, but this one is added via OSPF external route. Okay, anyway, you can read this one in NetAcad. I think there is also a video we explain more. So we know how we do that also. We know how to do the default route propagation, the cost, halo interval, dead interval. So for now, we have 82%. So I did everything. I got 82%. It means there is somewhere I missed. Let me, if I come here, check results, assessment items, OS process ID, auto cost, incorrect. Passive interface, serial 01, 011. That's very strange. On router 2, auto cost, gig 00 OSPF area. Yeah, so you can also come here and check. We want us to use auto cost. Okay, let's come and see the auto cost. Auto cost. Okay, so we go to auto cost. What is this thing? No, here. Okay. So I missed auto cost, guys. Yeah, so yourself, and you can do that. You come here to check where you missed. Auto cost. Yeah, so here I think we missed here. We missed the last question here. Yeah. So you must use the auto cost. Let me try one. Then we are done. Only 5 minutes and we are done. Geek interface. If I come here, show IP interface brief. I have these two routers, these two interfaces. Conf-D. Let me check if your interface range G 000-1 it works. Then I'll check the auto cost, guys. Router OSPF 10. So we go to the router OSPF auto cost. That's very strange. Let me go back to chapter 2, auto cost. We go back to read properly again. I think, cost metric, yeah. So this for the cost. Cost is reference bandwidth and interface bandwidth. Auto cost 100. Okay, I'm going to try something. These interfaces are what? If I go to this guy, we are all gig. So the cost should be 100. So I can exit here. IP, router OSPF 10. How much we have for now? We have 82%. Router OSPF 10, auto cost bandwidth. Router OSPF 10, auto cost bandwidth. Auto cost, reference bandwidth. I'll check if it works. Copy. How much we have? We had 82, 84. Okay. 84. If you come here, we do the same thing. Show IP interface brief. We did before now. And we have only gig interface also. Let me check again. Show IP interface brief. So we have gig interfaces. So we said that if it gig interfaces, the gig interface, we tap this command. So router OSPF auto cost bandwidth. Okay, let's use that. Conf-D IP, no, router OSPF 10. And we tap that command to adjust the cost. We had 84. If I press enter, sorry, We have 84. Now, how much we have? 86. Wow, okay. Then we'll do that for everyone then. Because we all have gig interfaces. And there is one, this fast interface there. We have 86. Let's try. We have 86. How much you get now? 88. That's nice. When you come here, we do the same thing. Show IP interface brief. We have all gig interfaces here. Conf-D, router, OSPF 10, and we add how much we got. We get, we have 90%. We have 90%. So you go back to check result. Where did we miss? We miss auto course. Okay, we're almost there. Yeah, so yourself, and you can come here and fix. If you see on P1, process ID 10, auto course incorrect. P1 auto course. What is P1? And you check P1. Anytime you do your packet tracer, don't forget to save what you're doing every 10 minutes. So that in case you close accidentally, you can check. So if say P1 auto course, P1 is here. I have no idea. Enable show IP interface brief. But here we don't have, we only have serial interface. Okay, let's try conf-D router OSPF 10. So here instead of 10, let me put 1,000, 10,000. We check. We have 90%. Let's check here. Oh, it's always 90%. It means the command didn't work. We try again. It will do 1,000. We go check. We got 92%. Okay, so this autocall stuff, it's something you can go back in EtACAD and check properly. Let's come here also. Enable conf-D router OSPF process ID 10, and we add the same thing. How many percent we got? 94%. So we did on this, we did everywhere. Check result again. And we are almost there. Okay, anyway, so you know how to fix this. Now everything is green. It only few stuff. BC1 interface S11 passive interface. So BC1 interface S11. BC1. Let me save this one. BC1. This is BC1 interface S11. Exit. Interface S011. Passive. No. Looking like that. We exit. Router OSPF 10. Passive interface S011. It's a very long one. It's a very long exercise. Packet tracer. Let's check. We got 96%. We're almost there. 96%. Now, on BC2, on port G000, I'm going to copy instead of coming here all the time. So yeah, BC2. What is BC2? We come here. BC2 is here. We open it, and we say what on BC2 interface G000 IP OSPF area. We didn't configure on BC2 interface G000. So interface G000 IP OSPF, then area 0. Do copy, run, start. So to activate OSPF, it seems like we didn't activate here on that interface. We need to add it. And where else also? On BC3, G000, the same thing. BC3. Ah, okay, I see. I see. I'll show you why I say I see. Exit. Okay, anyway, interface G000 IP OSPF 10 area 0. Do copy, run, start. Now how much we got? Let's check. 100%. 100%. What does it mean? I'm quickly, in 5 minutes, show you. In the questions, they say activate OSPF using the network statement and wildcard mask. So to do that on each router, we say activate OSPF using the network command. So on each router OSPF 10, and you must add all the networks. All the network you see. Be careful of the wildcard mask. Sometimes we'll say /30. If we say /30, look here, for example. So you see the network between these two guys is /30. See here. The network between these two, we say /30. It means if you need to add that network, 0.8, network 0.8 /30, this is the wildcard mask. So check here. /30, you do, you convert, and this is how you find the wildcard mask. So you can check 1 minute quickly. Yeah, so when you add a remote network, be careful of it. They will show you the subnet mask that you must change it. So if it says /30, it means it's 31s. You convert in decimal. Then to find the wildcard mask, you do all 255s minus the subnet mask. Then you'll find the wildcard mask. So 255 minus 255 is 0. 255 minus 255 is 0. And 255 minus 252 is 3. So when you add the remote network, be careful of the wildcard mask. Sometimes we'll say /28. This is the wildcard mask. You do the same thing. Or we'll say /29. This is the wildcard mask. So be careful. So on all these network, on each router, you must add all the networks by using the network command. Here where on the headquarter network, all the routers in the headquarter network, everyone here, all these 3 routers, you activate OSPF using the network command. Then on all these routers, you activate OSPF using the interface command. You go to each interface and you activate OSPF. All interfaces must activate OSPF. Yeah, so be careful of the wildcard mask. And so normally that's all. So you know how to activate. Everything is, we did see that. Using the network command, this is it. Using the interface command, you go to each interface, IP OSPF 10 area 0. Yes?
Can we please go back on the topology?
Okay. Yes.
All right. We've got OSPF area 0.
Yes.
I wanted to know if router BC2 and BC3, which we're going to activate using interface, are they also on area 0? Isn't that is supposed to? Yes.
Okay. So for CCNA level, anything we do is only in one area 0. When you go to CCNP, you see here single area. But we have multi area. I'm going to show you. We have a different type of areas, but in the old days we did many areas, but since we remove it, I'll show you. I hope it's here. I think it's in chapter 1. I'll show you there. CCNA3, chapter 1. Yeah, so for CCNA level, single area, I'll show you. I think there is a design for that. Area 0. Yeah, so you see here, for example, we also have something called multi-area. So you have your normal, so let's say your CPUT, you have the main headquarter in Cape Town CBD. And we have someone in Belleville, someone in Wellington, and what. So the headquarter is area 0, the main one. And any other areas should be connected to the main area 0. So for us, CCNA, we focus on the main area, everything area 0. At the CCNP level, you'll check what's happening here, what's happening here, and how they can interact with the main one for everyone to work together.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. But a very good question. Thank you so much. Any other questions? So this lab, you have a recording. Do it many times. It takes time. It takes time. So quickly, let me show you something again. Quickly, and yeah. So we know how to configure router IDs. You just need to, this is how we configure router IDs. You go to each router that they want you to configure, router OSPF, and you add the ID. So for example, here, BC1, BC2, BC2, 3, you do that. You can also configure passive interface and higher router priority to force a router to become the DR, like we just did before we started. And we did configure the default static route that we did. So we started with this one, the highest interface. You go to the interface facing the other routers, IP OSPF priority 255. We did that at the beginning. How to configure static route and the exit interface we did. How to automatically distribute that default route to other routers we did. And anything else we did. Yeah, so please watch again the recording. Do this packet tracer many times to get 100%. If I got 100%, you too, you can get 100%. The very nice one, it takes time. That's good to pass your final packet tracer CCNA exam. Okay, thank you very much, guys. And anytime you have questions, please feel free to post in the class WhatsApp group. We'll help each other. Enjoy your weekend and see you next time. Huh?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.